Right now, as you're watching this video, an entire megacity is sinking. Not in 100 years, not in some distant future, but right now. Every single year, parts of Jakarta sink 25 centimeters into the earth. That's 10 inches, the height of your laptop. By 2050, just 25 years from now, 95% of North Jakarta will be underwater. Not flooded, not damaged, but completely gone. Now, this is home to more than 10.6 billion people. That's more than New York, more than London. And here's something that might terrify you, that this is not only for Jakarta. This is coming for dozens of cities around the world, and maybe yours as well. Welcome to Jakarta, the fastest sinking city on earth, and by the end of this video, you will understand why what's happening here is the most underreported catastrophe of our time. Now let me show you something that will blow your mind. Now this is Muara Baru, a neighborhood in North Jakarta, year 2000. Bustling fishing port, buildings at street level, normal city life. 2025, the same buildings, but now the first floor is completely underground. You need to walk downstairs to enter what used to be the ground floor. The residents have literally had to build a new entrances on what used to be the second floor. The old ground floor windows, now basement windows looking out at dirt. That's 2.5 meters of sinking in 25 years. Gone. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Different parts of Jakarta are sinking at different rates. The North Jakarta at 25 centimeters per year, Central Jakarta at 7 centimeters per year, East Jakarta at 15 centimeters per year. Now you know what this means? Road cracks and buck up, because one end sinks faster than the other. Buildings tilt, pipelines break, the entire city infrastructure is literally tearing itself apart. In 2023, Indonesian scientists used satellite data to create a 3D model of Jakarta's subsidence. The result? The city looks like a bowl. The edges are relatively stable, but the center and north, it's collapsing into a giant crater. Now let's do the math with me. If the North Jakarta is sinking at 25 centimeters per year, so let's take 2025 as a starting point. By 2030, it will be 1.25 meters lower, that is 4 feet lower. By 2035, 2.5 meters lower, 8 feet. Entire ground floors underwater. 2040, 3.7 meters lower, that is 12 feet, second floor flooding. 2045, 5 meters lower, 16 feet, third floors at risk. 2050, 6.25 meters lower, that's 20 plus feet, that's unlivable. And remember, the ocean is also rising, so it's not just 6 meters of sinking, it's 6 meters of sinking plus rising seas. By 2050, researchers estimate that 95% of North Jakarta will be below sea level, not occasionally flooded, permanently submerged. Schools, hospitals, homes where 4 generations of families have lived, all claimed by the ocean. Now let's talk about a real life story over here. Meet Ibu Asi. She's 62 years old and has lived in the same house in North Jakarta for 40 years. When she moved in during the 1980s, her house was 3 meters above sea level. She had a garden, kids played in the street, normal life. Today, every morning during high tide, seawater floods into her living room. She's installed pumps that run 24/7 just to keep the water at ankle depth. Her furniture sitting on concrete blocks, her electrical outlets moved halfway up the walls. She can't use her kitchen during high tide because the stove would be underwater. Every few years, she has to raise everything higher, but the water keeps coming. Now, here's what really gets me. Ibu Asi isn't poor. She owns her home, she has her savings, but where would she go? Her entire life is here, her community, her identity. And she's one of the millions. In 2020, Reuters documented a neighborhood where street signs have completely disappeared under the water. First, the bottom half went under the water in 2015, then the whole sign by 2008. Now the top of the pole is 50 centimeters below the surface. Fishermen who have worked at Jakarta ports for generations now can't reach their boats because the docks have sunk below the waterline. They've had to build makeshift ramps and floating platforms just to get to sea. The government built a giant seawall in 2014, cost $40 billion. It was supposed to protect Jakarta for decades. By 2019, just 5 years later, parts of North Jakarta had sunk so much that even the sea wall was useless. Water just flows over the top during the high tide. They raised the roads, but buildings sank faster than the roads could be raised. Now you have the roads that are higher than the buildings next to them. You drive down these streets and you're literally looking down at second-story windows. And here's the thing that should absolutely terrify you. These people can't just move to higher ground. Jakarta is the economic center of Indonesia. 60% of the country's GDP flows through this city. There are no good alternatives. Now here's the question. Where do 10 million people go? How do you evacuate the 10th largest urban area on Earth? What happens to their house, their business, their entire lives? Now, there will be one question that will be popping up in your head, that what's causing this catastrophe? And why is Jakarta sinking much faster than the other coastal cities? Now, there are three main culprits, and all of them are 100% man-made. Jakarta sits on a coastal plain made of soft, porous soil, clay, silt, and loose sediment deposited over thousands of years by rivers flowing from inland mountains. Now, imagine this soil is like a sponge. Underground, it's saturated with water, aquifers that have existed for millennia. Now, here's the problem. Only 40% of Jakarta has access to piped water. The rest, everyone drills their own private wells. Companies drill deep wells, apartment buildings drill wells, individual homes drill wells. There are an estimated 1.5 illegal wells in Jakarta right now. They're sucking water out of the ground faster than rain can replenish it. And when you remove water from clay and silt, something happens. The ground compacts. Now think of it like a sponge. When it's full of water, it's thick and spongy. Now what happens when you squeeze the water out? It shrinks to a fraction of its size. Now that's what's happening beneath Jakarta. The aquifers are being drained and the soil is compacting, and the entire city is collapsing into empty space. Now researchers estimate that 80% of Jakarta's sinking is caused by groundwater extraction. Not climate change, not rising seas, but it's happening because of human-caused water theft. Now if we go back to history, Jakarta has experienced explosive growth since 1950. In 1950, there were just 1.4 million people, and today they have more than 10 million people living in the same city. More than 30 plus million in the metro area. Now to house all these people, Jakarta built up skyscrapers, high-rise apartments, shopping malls, highways, millions of tons of concrete and steel. Now all of this weight is pressing down on soil that's already collapsing because the water has been removed. It's like building a skyscraper on a quicksand or putting a grand piano on a deflating airbag. Now some of Jakarta's newest and tallest buildings are sinking faster than the old neighborhood because they are heavier. Now, global sea levels are rising at 3.4 millimeters per year. That's bad enough. But Jakarta is sinking at 10 to 25 centimeters per year. Now, do the math. Jakarta is sinking 70 times faster than the ocean is rising. But here's where it compounds. As the land sinks, it gets closer to the ocean, which means higher flood risk, which means more saltwater intrusion, which contaminates the groundwater, which forces people to drill deeper wells, which makes the sinking worse. It's a vicious cycle, a death spiral, and it's accelerating. Scientists call this land subsidence, but that sounds too technical, too clean. What it really is, a slow-motion collapse of an entire megacity. So what do you do when your capital city is literally disappearing into the ocean? Indonesia made a decision that sounds absolutely insane. They are building an entirely new capital city from scratch in the middle of Borneo jungle, 1200 kilometers away. The new city is called Nusantara, which means archipelago in Old Javanese. It's being built on 256,000 hectares of land in East Kalimantan, Borneo. The construction started in 2022 and the entire capital to be relocated by 2045. They are literally abandoning Jakarta. Now, this isn't the first time a country has moved its capital. Kazakhstan did it, Myanmar did it, Brazil famously built Brasilia in the 1960s. But those moves were about politics or development or national identity. This is different. Indonesia is moving its capital because the old one is sinking into the ocean. But here's the problem nobody wants to talk about. The government can move, politicians can move, government workers will be relocated with their jobs. But what about the 10 million people who live in Jakarta? Fishermen, the street vendors, the factory workers, the families who have been there for generations. They can't afford to move to Nusantara. They don't have the government jobs. They are being left behind. And Jakarta will still be there, a massive, economically vital city. Still sinking, still flooding, still home to millions who have nowhere else to go. By 2050, the projections are clear. North Jakarta will be uninhabitable. The question is whether the Indonesian government will help those millions of people relocate or whether they'll just abandon them. Now here you must be thinking that this is all about Jakarta. Why should I be worried? So let me tell you one thing over here, that even if you have not heard of Jakarta before this video, Jakarta is not alone, not even close. Now here are other cities that are sinking right now. Bangkok, Thailand, sinking 2 to 3 centimeters per year. would be inhabitable by 2030. Manila, Philippines. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, sinking 1 to 3 centimeters annually, home to 9 million people. Shanghai, China, some districts sinking 2.5 centimeters per year, population 28 million. And there are more: Mexico City, Taran, Tokyo, Dhaka, the list goes on. According to a 2020 study published in Science, 1.6 billion people, 20% of the global population, live in areas at risk of land subsidence. 40% of the world's population lives in coastal areas, and every single major coastal city is facing some combination of sinking land and rising seas. Now, what's happening in Jakarta is a preview, a warning, a glimpse of what unchecked human development plus climate change plus poor planning looks like. Now, it's 2026 and Jakarta still stands for now. 10.6 million people wake up every day in a city that is quietly, relentlessly vanishing beneath them. They go to work, they send their kids to school, they live their lives in a city with an expiration date. By 2050, if nothing changes, and right now nothing is changing, this city will just be a memory, an underwater ghost metropolis. A warning that we saw coming but did nothing about. The people of Jakarta didn't cause this. They didn't design a city on a swampland. They didn't trigger climate change. They are just trying to live their lives. But they are the ones paying the price, and the clock is ticking. And not just for Jakarta, but all of us. Now, what you have seen in this video could be the future of dozens of coastal cities. But here's the question. Will we learn from Jakarta, or we will wait until it's too late? And share this video with more people as the world needs to. And my name is Taran, and this is Taran Unleashed. I post videos every week. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon for more videos like this every week. Thank you.